so what are you choosing? Then you fall, my dogs are holding the code, we never get loosey. These days everyone's wrapped in gold, the money don't change it for you even know. Don't let the snake up change up your goals, keeping it honest, don't tell them who told. You gotta know how to act, you can't keep hanging with niggas that tell you they love you but holding you back. Think about your kids, your fans, your girl, the one who are really attached, then the ones who will hold up your back. Give you praise when you're in the trap, shooting just hope you get you a stack. But yeah, that's life, you know the price, you know that right, you know that's right. If life is a movie, you got a choice, so what are you choosing? Then you fall, my dogs are holding the code, we never get loosey. These days everyone's wrapped in gold, the money don't change it for you even know. Don't let the snake up change up your goals, keeping it honest, don't tell them who told. You should change the choices that you're making here. God ain't say your soul so you can break it here. You should stop to think about just...
Well, hello friends, and welcome back to the start of another weekly vlog. Well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because I don't know if this is going to be like my usual weekly vlog because we are currently, what day is it actually? It is Monday, June 24th, so we only have about a week left in the month of June, and I am still kind of devouring these contemporary fiction novels, and now I'm finding myself reaching towards some classics. Like, I think I want to get some shorter classics on my TBR as well. And is that absolutely insane? Probably, because the TBR at this point is just books I would like to read in my lifetime before I kick the bucket. Like, I am 6 feet under. That's how long it is going to take me to get through my entire TBR. But anyways, with that being said, I feel like I want to do this vlog a little bit differently because typically I would do about a week or just one or two books if I'm reading two books in tandem, and kind of just recapping and capturing how I'm feeling about said book. Well, with some of these contemporary novels, because they are much shorter, the reading time has been much different for me. So reading a fantasy that's anywhere from like 300 to 600 pages, that's taking your girl like at least a week to read, especially if I'm trying to fully absorb all of the world building that's happening. But with these fiction novels, they just flow differently, and I feel like I can actually chip quite a few, or at least a few for me, off of my list during this last stretch of June, and I kind of want to do that with you guys. So my husband and I went to Schuler's bookstore in Ann Arbor yesterday, which I took you guys with me. And I grabbed one book that I have been wanting to read for so long, and now just feels right because of where I'm at with my, with my mood reading right now. And that is Normal People by Sally Rooney. We know it, we love it, or maybe you hate it. I don't know. That is a very fair assessment as well. But I have wanted to read Sally Rooney's writing for so long, and I don't know why. I've always just felt a little intimidated by it. I think because of some of the bookstore women, I really look up to a lot of them and their aesthetics and the books that they read and the assumed lives that I think they lead because of the books that they read. And they almost feel a little bit above me, like out of reach. And I don't mean that in any negative way at all. I mean it as in like, am I smart enough to be reading the same books as these people? And you know what? Yes, I am. That is just a made up thing that I have put into the universe all by myself with the way that my mind works. But again, because of where I'm at in my mood reading era, I'm just like this feels right. And because of some of the books that I finished recently, which you will see in my June wrap up when the month has finally come to a close. So with that being said, I wanted to finally get my hands on this book and read it, and I'm feeling even more motivated than ever to annotate again. So I did, in all honesty, start this book last night, and then I read a little bit more this morning. But I am just drawn to annotate a story like this. And when that happens to me as well, I try not to fight it. I try not to ever make myself annotate, and then I try not to fight it when I want to. For me, that is another mood thing and a very fluid thing when I just let it naturally happen. And let me tell you, it is natural. I am already highlighting, I am tabbing, I am underlining, and I am obsessed already with her writing style. It's just, again, working for me right now and where I'm at. So for those of you that don't know, I'm just going to read the synopsis again because sometimes I feel like I stumble over myself when I'm trying to recap a book on camera. So Connell and Marianne grew up in the same small town, but the similarities end there. At school, Connell is popular and well-liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing begins. Normal People is the story of mutual fascination, friendship, and love. It takes us from that first conversation to the years beyond, in the company of two people who try to stay apart but find that they can't. And I will say that just at first impressions of this, it's giving me that, like, I don't know, like we've all been through awkward phases or stages in our lives, and some of us had very active, school careers, and some of us were more loners and kind of doing our own thing. And I was actually quite a bit of a loner, and especially towards the end of high school, I really just kind of did the classes that I had interest in. I worked a lot. I was excited to leave high school and kind of start life as an adult. So I relate to Marianne a lot in this book already. And also just kind of this awkward stage of life where like you kind of maybe like someone, but you feel like you can't like them because of like certain hierarchies within a school system, all of our cliques and stuff like that. So of course, once you're an adult, you know, and people tell you when you're that age, life is not like this when you grow into the adult world. Look, it's just not like high school. And man, were they right, because you do not live a life like this. But it is a very quick reminder that at one point in your life, this is your life. Like your high school or your whatever, like however you received schooling growing up, like that's your world until you step into the adult world. That's all you know. So everything feels very big and very dramatic. And I'm really enjoying it so far, especially when I relate to a character. So I can't wait to see where this one goes. I think I'll be able to grab one more before the month is done. So we will probably head back to the bookstore at some point in time, or I will need to get something online if what I'm really feeling like I want to read for the last book of June, probably it will end up being my last book of June. Again, I'm feeling like I want to read some kind of classic, but not a classic that's going to be like a 700-page classic that I just won't be able to like fully focus on and then also finish in the month of June. So we'll do a little research on that. We'll see what comes up. But until then, it is Monday. It's a brand new week. I'm coming to you in this very awkward standing position from my amazing desk that you saw me put together in one of my previous vlogs. And not gonna lie, I really dig it. This is one of the best investments I have made in a long time. I consistently use the standing capability of this desk like multiple times a day. So I love it. This is where I'm going to spend most of my morning right now, wrapping up some work stuff. I'm going to head to the gym in a little bit here, and then hopefully this afternoon, after work is done, if it's quiet, we're going to sit down and read a little bit more. So with that being said, I am going to let you go now. I hope you guys have had a fabulous weekend and are ready to take on this week. I am very excited to see what we can get done in this vlog, and I will check in with you guys as soon as I have another update. All right, bye.
I got no drip in my pocket. Must have forgot it, or maybe I already lost it. Don't got enough to go cop it. I'm about to take off like a rocket. Houston, we might have a problem, but that don't mean money will solve them. No, that don't mean money will solve them. Woke up dreaming of the commas, and I got $100 in my wallet. I've been trying to make it, do it for my mama. I ain't with the faking, never with the drama. She said that I make it, now I gotta honor that. Replace a Honda with the fucking Model X. Replace my exes with a couple models. She act out of pocket, now it's just a problem. I got it. No, really, don't worry. I don't want no Burberry glowing like the sun, or maybe a little Mercury. Shooting like I'm Booker, but nobody ever heard of me. You don't got 5 O's when I say a word to me. Nah, but really, y'all been acting silly. I could care less if you fucking with me, cause I still got the checks coming 150. I got no drip in my pocket, yeah. Must have forgot it, or maybe I already lost it. Don't Don't got enough to go cop it, I'm about to take off like a rocket. Oh, Houston, we might have a problem, but that don't mean money will solve them. Yeah, that don't mean money will solve them.
It was never about the comments, you know that these problems, they come with a lease. Shawty keep on asking for it, like I got the money, just go to the streets. This ain't your Givenchy, it's fave. I get my money, then hold it back like a rich nigga with an ice pack. Under quarterback, you a halfback. Check the difference in banking amount that. Take my stacks out of bank to the flat. And then
every time I'll turn the camera on and he will just start making noise. Okay, so let's do a quick reading check-in on where we are at for this kind of new-ish type vlog that I'm doing, which is really just trying to see what I can read within the remaining time of June. And we are currently at June 25th. It is Wednesday, and I am completely devouring anyways, and I am completely devouring Normal People. I love this book. I love it so much. I'm obsessed. I have not been able to stop annotating. Going to bed and reading this is a struggle because I don't annotate when I'm in bed because I just kind of want to relax and get tired, and I want to like just sit up and keep underlining things and highlighting things and marking things the whole time. I just love it. I understand the Sally Rooney fever. Like I have it. I caught it. I got the Sally Rooney in me. Weird to say, but I just really love it. And like I said in the last check-in, and I had just started the book, I find myself relating to Marianne, one of our main characters, quite a bit, and I love that she is just kind of a weird girl. And you really just, if you've ever been any sort of like romanticizer or quirky, emo, weird, whatever you want to say, girl, hi, hello, you would definitely appreciate her as a character. And honestly, Connell is such a great male character as well, because in the start of the book when they're in high school, he is popular. Like, he is a cool kid, people love him, and for no other reason really than just because. It's almost like he was chosen to be cool, but he's a really good person, and you can see that. In fact, he's out of like this clique of the cool kids at school, he is legitimately a good person, where the rest of them are kind of like your typical mean popular kids and actually kind of shitty people. Connell is very kind and caring and a little withdrawn almost, and I think that's probably like why he's so cool, especially to some other girls, because he's described as like very attractive and athletic, but also kind of quiet. Like, he's dark and brooding type, I think, which is just a mystery person to a lot of people, and that like attracts them to him. But anyways, the book is really just about their journey of meeting in high school, kind of going through high school, going on to different parts of their lives, and kind of constantly always being involved with each other without being involved with each other, but having feelings, and kind of watching like a dynamic shift between them, like in their relationship as they grow older and they start going through things and experiencing things. It kind of keeps happening, and that's really intriguing too, and I really like that. And I think it makes both of the characters very vulnerable at certain points, and then also very strong at certain points, so you kind of have like this push and pull with how you feel about them, and also with them and their relationship. I don't know, I'm babbling on, but I'm just obsessed with it. I love it so much. I could see that this is like going to be one of my favorite books. You notice I didn't say it like of 2024. Yes, probably of 2024, but also just like, this might be one of those comfort reads. I could see myself rereading this time and time again, and I'm obsessed with it. I am currently on page 170, and what is this? 270, so I only have 100 pages left. I would like to try to finish this within the next day or two and try to move on to something else or squeeze something else in within the last couple of days of June, which I think is pretty feasible because I'm going through Normal People so fast. I feel like I need to pick something else soon. And I have a couple ideas that I'm throwing around in my head. One of them being The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I do actually have a copy on my shelves already, so that would prevent us from needing to go and spend money on another book. And also, I read that at a different time in my life where I don't think I fully appreciated what the context of the book was. Again, I just was at a much different point in my life where I don't think I was really appreciating what that book is in women's literature, and women's literature specifically about mental health. And I think I would actually, at this point in my life, with some of the things I've been through in my own life and being, not to be a broken record here, but a woman in her mid-30s and just a little bit further removed from some younger adult parts of my life, I think I would really appreciate it. So anyways, that one is kind of on the radar, but I'm sure we will make a trip to the bookstore no matter what, because I like to peruse. Sometimes I like to go in, you know, it's like an artist with clay. You gotta get your hands on it, you gotta feel, you gotta smell. I'm tactile. I wanna open things and read things and be like, yes, no, and just kind of go from there. Sometimes you need the inspiration in person. I'm sure most of you know what I mean by that. So anyways, that was a very lengthy check-in. Never mean to do that, but here we are yet again. But yeah, I just wanted to do that really quick because I was like, I'm gonna get all the way through this book without even doing another check-in, and that's fine. I'm sure you guys don't need to hear me talk nonstop. It's not like this one is brand new. It's been around for a bit. So I'm sure you already know what it's about, but you know, for those of you that don't, just a real quick recap. And that's basically where we're at. Gonna finish this one soon. Gonna try to find another one to squeeze in for this last week in June, and I will keep you guys updated on what that ends up being, or take you with me to find our next victim. Until then, I hope you've had a fabulous day, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye! Oh, well, hello, my lovely reader friends. I wanted to do a check-in with you guys of where we are at in this last week of June vlog and what we've accomplished so far. I say we because we're doing this together. It's always a journey together. I did completely finish Normal People by Sally Rooney, And I'm just going to recap what my review on Goodreads said and Storygraph, because I still use Storygraph. I will never be the same person again. I will never be the same person again. This is a 5-star read. This is a 5-star, out of the park. Haven't felt this way about a book in a hot minute. Like, I loved this. I loved it so much. I was obsessed. I'm still obsessed. I haven't stopped thinking about it. I annotated the crap out of it. And that was just like, I was almost holding myself back a little bit. I was like, I gotta stop. It's taking me a while to tab everything and highlight everything that I want to like go back and review again. But I don't know. This was such a heart-wrenching story, I want to say. The characters in this book are slightly broken, and it made them so vulnerable and so endearing, but they were different from each other. And I really appreciated that. And because they kind of go on this journey of like meeting in high school and going through some young adult life in college and kind of more towards the end of college, that's such a pivotal moment in our lives anyways, just being like a young 20-something and trying to handle life. But the baggage that these two carried around with them from either their childhoods or school or just even currently trying to figure out that adult life was, again, kind of heart-wrenching and just so endearing to read about. And they balanced each other out absolutely perfectly to the point where it was like, and this, again, these are all subjective viewpoints. And I know that there's a lot of mixed reviews on this book. I'm here to tell you what I think about it and how I felt about it. I never felt at one point in time they were enabling each other in any type of behavior that one of them displayed. But they were such attentive listeners to the other when they were having issues and trying to truly be there for the other. Like, you didn't feel, especially once they kind of developed a relationship, you never felt like their love was conditional for each other. And I think that was really refreshing to read about. So even though these were troubled people, they kind of had ups and downs. They even had like this roller coaster of almost, I don't know if hierarchy is the right word, but kind of like a hierarchy within their relationship together, where they would kind of like have this seesaw of who was a little bit more like put together and who was like kind of struggling, and kind of just like this really unique dynamic between the two of them. It was just really kind of nice to read about characters that, like, when they were like truly hitting bottom, there was going to be that one person there no matter what. That's what they were giving to the other person. I will say some of it is a little frustrating because they're not the best communicators always. It was that thing of like, just communicate, like just say how you feel, and some of this wouldn't be an issue, and you're like so frustrated because you just want them, you have their inner dialogue, their inner monologue of what they're thinking and then what they say, and it doesn't always match up. And I think it was because they were so genuinely concerned about what the other person felt and thought about them. And I really, really liked that too, even though it was a very frustrating aspect of the writing. It also, again, made them very endearing as characters. And I love the fact, like, you think about the fact that this book is called Normal People. Like, these are normal people. That's what you felt like you were reading about. Like, you were reading about them in high school and you were like, oof, yeah, that sounds about right. And I really, really enjoyed it. I am a Sally Rooney convert. I am a fan. I put reading this book off for so long because I actually thought I wasn't going to like it because of the mixed reviews you can kind of fall into on any of the reading apps. But I was sorely mistaken. And this is one of my favorite parts about reading, is being taken aback by something that you didn't even realize you were going to enjoy so thoroughly. So I am Sally Rooney all the way. I know she's coming out with a new book. I believe it's this year, and I absolutely can't wait to get my hands on it. Also makes me a little bit scared to read any of her other books though, because you know, when one book hits from an author and you're like, I love this person, I would walk to the ends of the earth for this author now. What if you don't like the other ones? But such is the risk we take as bookish people, you know? I've said it before, I'll say it again. We just like to get our hearts ripped out, our hearts broken, our hearts stomped on, and then do it all over again. We are truly in this to feel pain, I think, sometimes. That's weird. But you know what I'm saying. Like, we get very fully invested in things, and man, when there's feels, there's feels. So that was a very long wrap up of how I felt about Normal People, and watch me on Bookstagram continue to talk about this book. I'm not done yet. Like, I can't let this one go quite yet. And also, do I watch the Hulu show? You tell me. Did you watch the show? Did you read this book? Did you like the book? Did you watch the show because you did or did not like the book? Let me know in a comment. I want to like gauge what I should do with the show, because now I have like a, you know, preconceived notion in my head about what they look like, what they should be acting like, and I don't know if I can go there, but also I kind of want to. Okay, we'll see. Anyways, moving on. So last time we checked in, I also said I thought about possibly just going down this path of great women and reading about women and from women, and I thought about picking up the Bell Jar again, and I did. I picked it back up, and I love the crap out of this book. I don't know what is happening to me right now. I'm just in this world, like this world of, again, reading about women's wrongs and women's rights and women figuring shit out. And it's so endearing. I feel now more than ever at this point in my life, because of just life things that I've been through as a 34-year-old female. I have my moments. Let me preface it by saying this. I have my moments, but I am also just like, for once in my life, in my true self. Like, this is me. This is the skin I wear. This is who I am as a person. I don't feel bad about it. I feel quite proud about it, if I'm being honest. And I think I really like reading about women, and not just women characters, right? Because I loved Connell in Normal People, but just reading about women and characters figuring stuff out and being like, yes, I remember when I was like going through something similar. But okay, anyways, I'm babbling on. For those of you that don't know what the Bell Jar is even about, but the Bell Jar, written by Sylvia Plath, is about a young woman who is kind of sort of in the midst of college, wrapping up college, and trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life. She has this somewhat of an internship over the summer in New York City, and she kind of gets to go out and experience life a little bit. And she just starts questioning everything. She's questioning what she wants to do with her life, what she wants to become as like her career. Does she want to keep going to school? Does she want to be a poet? Does she want to be an editor? Does she want to be a wife and a mother? Because now she's really like, I don't think that's the right path for me. And she's having her eyes open to how the world works, like in the real world, and especially a place as big as New York City, but just kind of experiencing people and things and questioning everything. And it is gripping because it's very raw. It is truly her like going out and doing something and then speaking her mind about like how she felt about it, including interactions with men that are honestly trigger warnings. I don't see a lot of trigger warnings for the Bell Jar out there anymore. Maybe it's because we've all just like known pretty much like what the Bell Jar contains, but trigger warnings here. I will put it back out into the universe. There's a lot of talk about sexism, misogyny, even sexual abuse and kind of physical abuse throughout the story. So that is very prevalent. Things are starting to turn, which is also kind of cool to read about. Again, she's part of this internship where she goes to New York and stays in this hotel. It's like women only, and it's kind of like sorority-esque. That's like what you gather from it. So they go and they have to like go to work every day at this magazine, and each one of them is kind of like learning something different at the magazine. So there are very, very cool aspects of it, but it's much, much more than that. It's her really just questioning life and honestly falling into some pretty deep depressive episodes. So again, trigger warnings on this book, openly talking about things like feeling mentally unstable within yourself. So thoughts of suicide, thoughts of death and dying. It is very raw, is the only way I can think to describe it, and real. But that's what also makes it such a moving story. And I'm just completely sucked into it. I'm 126 pages in. I didn't update you guys when I started this book, and I honestly read like 100 pages of it in one day because I couldn't put it down because I was just sucking it up like so quickly. And I think the book is only like 250 pages long. It's something along those lines. 230, 40, something like that. I'm close. But yeah, it's just at this point in my life, I think the best time in my life to read this, and I could tear up talking about it. But I would fully put this book out there as something like that. So maybe if you are not even just a young woman, a young person, just a young person in this world, and you haven't connected with this book because of the time you're at, go back to it later. Like, do me that favor and go back to it later. Or maybe you are a young person in this world and you do connect with this book, absorb it, listen to it. You're not alone. Like, these are experiences that a lot of us, and especially those of us that can feel very deeply, go through and kind of struggle with at times. Sorry, thank you for joining this Hot Mess Express, per usual. I have to kind of put this back out there again as one of those books where I think, depending on where you're at in your life, you could either love this or you could hate it. And right now I'm loving it. So I am very, very grateful for that. So this is what I'm going to try to finish and accomplish before the month of June ends. This has become a very lengthy check-in at this point in time, which I realize that. So thank you for sticking in there with me. I promise to try not and go so long without checking in, which honestly wasn't even that long. It's been like a day and a half, maybe. Again, I couldn't put this down. So that's where we're at. So anyways, that's where we're at right now. I'm crying and sobbing. What else is new? Normal People was fantastic. I can't wait to finish The Bell Jar and kind of just have this in my arsenal of books that probably mean the world to me. And then we'll see if I can get it done before June ends. We are currently at June 28th. So just a few more days. I think we can do it. Let's hang in there together. Otherwise, I will check in with you guys as soon as I have another update. All right. Bye. This weather is just so wild. Poor Bubby had to go outside in the rain this morning to go potty. He was like, we're just gonna pee, then we're gonna go back inside. So now he's on his towel on the couch, waiting for the downpour to cease. And I'm here 200 pages in to The Bell Jar. I just can't, I am so enthralled by this book that I just can't stop reading it.
I know that
Well, hi, hello, friends. How are we doing on this fine day? I needed to check in with you on where we are at for me with the angles. You know how I love to give the angles in these vlogs. Yeah, we need to do a final check-in on my end of June and what can I read by the end of June vlog, which was really only a couple of days. But because I had been in this contemporary fiction era, the books are going so much more quickly than I realized they would, which is good. With that being said, I completely finished Normal People by Sally Rooney. I am a convert. I am a #1 fan, new favorite author. I cannot wait to read every single book that she already has out. Also can't wait for her next book to come out in September. This took me by total surprise. I did not realize that I was going to love this so much. In fact, I put off reading this book for quite a while because I kept thinking that I really wasn't going to like it, but I felt the urge to read it because there are so many opinions on it, and I loved it. So there's that. I will say the writing style, I can see why it's not for everyone. And I did truly struggle with it within like the first 2 chapters. And then I kind of just sank into it. And can someone tell me, like, drop this in a comment if this is something that I'm not really aware of. And I don't mean to sound naive, but do like Irish, English authors not always use quotations? Like, is that a thing very specific to that? And I say this because I actually DNF'd another book earlier this year that was written by an Irish author, and she did not use quotations, and I had such a hard time keeping track of the narrative between the different characters throughout the story because it would, like, I would get into a paragraph and then suddenly realize that it was somebody else talking, not the person that I thought was talking, because there was never like any like closing quotes on something. So I just couldn't do it. And this is written very similar to that, but for some reason, once I sank into it, I sank into it. So with that being said, I am going to go back to that other book that I just mentioned. Give that one a go again to see if maybe it was just the timing. Maybe I just couldn't brain that at the time. But I really loved the plot of Normal People. I loved the characters. I think they are the kind of give and take and push and pull that I like to see in character dynamics and what they are for each other and by themselves, and kind of just this interesting dynamic of them changing throughout the story. It kind of seemed like one of them would kind of be the more like the stronger person in the relationship dynamic, and the other one would kind of take a step back and let the other partner lead it. But that it continued to change, and I really liked watching a relationship grow and kind of move around like that. I thought that was really interesting, and I absolutely loved Sally Rooney's writing. I cannot wait to read more of her stuff, as I have said, and I will probably keep saying. And I would imagine those will come in vlogs or definitely in TBR or wrap-up videos. So there's that. The other book I was able to completely finish, and I think I got a couple of B-roll clips of me reading, but I didn't really check in much through it. Because I really read it, and I want to say about 2 days time, I just couldn't put it down. And that was The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I have read this before years and years and years ago. We're talking probably about half my life ago now, at least, maybe more than half my life ago now. And then also, if you know anything about Sylvia Plath as an author and kind of what she was going through in her personal life and when this book came out, it is very interesting to also know that history and then read the book again. And as I said, reading it as a woman in her mid-30s that has been through some more life things, a little bit further removed from some young adult emotions and feelings, just with a different mindset of them. And I thoroughly enjoyed the reread of it. And I'm sorry I didn't vlog much of me actually reading it, but it was because I just kind of really fell into it. I couldn't put it down. It was like reading it for the first time again with fresh eyes. I don't know, it was wild. but I'm really glad that I just, like, I saw it sitting on the shelf. I had this like notion to kind of pick up a little bit more of a classic, especially with all the women's fiction that I've been reading. I love reading about these women struggling, these messy, messy women, these unbothered girls that are just trying to like live life, and they make mistakes and they try to do better by themselves, and sometimes they don't. But I'm just like in a zone right now with books like this, and revisiting this one, it was like the perfect time to do it, and I don't know why, it just was. But with that being said, I was able to complete these 2 books in this vlog. So very amazing female authors that I am so glad that I stepped back into and that I have discovered and will continue to read from here on out. It was a great weekend. We did lots of book shopping, lots of reading, a little bit of brewery in between. But this is truly a great, great joy of mine. And I am so glad that you guys always join me on these journeys. So I want to thank you so much for joining me on this one as well. With that being said, if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button because it always helps a girl out. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my other upcoming videos, like my monthly wrap up, where I will be talking about these books in more detail, go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. As always, it has been an absolute blast, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.